It's 2018, raving started in the 90s, but ever since the early days, we now have the internet, mobile phones and games consoles. But yet, 30 years on, still young people are flocking to go to these types of events. Are drug-related deaths going to keep going up every year? In this documentary we speak to DJs, event organisers and the ravers. We will see the highs and the lows of the techno rave scene, as it seems to be getting more popular as the years go by. I went down to Leeds to interview Samuel Hall, who set up his own events company last year.
I'm a DJ and I'm from a town called Lee, what's near Manchester. And I've only recently, I think in the last year or so, set up my own events company. And it was just an idea I put together after I found my passion for music. And I was discussing it with yourself, that I wanted to start an event to promote my DJing basis, so I could play to a crowd, because I know my passion for music, my enthusiasm with music, I can show it to people and everyone enjoys what I'm playing. But it's been a bit of a roller coaster, if I'm honest. From the start, I had people saying, like my mates, that you're never going to be a DJ, you're never going to be playing outside of these names, and in a year I've come far. I've gone from playing at a 150 capacity venue in Manchester, and our recent venue was in Leeds, called Church. Well, it was a chapel, because I had a few problems promoting it, but I had Ways and Odyssey and I ended up doing it back to back with them. So if I would have said a year ago that I would have been doing that, I would have been like, nah, bullshit. I would have never been able to just put in my mind that I would be playing at the side of someone that big.
I then hopped down on a coach down to Manchester and arrived in Salford to meet with the Paralis boys, who was telling me a bit about themselves.
We're a tech house duo of two producers, two DJs, and that's what we do.
So where did the name come from?
It was all Rob's idea, wasn't it, really?
Well, basically the name came from, we were thinking for a long time, because we did have our first gig coming up and we needed a name for this gig. Anyway, we ended up not getting one in time. We went Rob Howard back to back Dylan Cunningham, and we decided then, that's not good, we need a proper name. So we're having a look through different languages, different words, different meanings, and come across the word paralis in Latin. And when I googled it at first, it said it meant fire. Now, so we've chosen this name, had made it official, and one of our friends googled it, texted me saying, you do realise it means moth.
Shut up.
So I think there's two reasons to it, but one of them's moth, one of them's fire, but we stuck with it anyway because we like the story.
We'd already set everything up.
We've already set it up. We like the story.
And it gets a funny story, doesn't it, when people ask us.
Definitely.
So what's the feeling you have when you see the crowd enjoying your mixing? What is that feeling?
Nothing better. That's exactly what I aspire to do. When I set up my mixes at home, when I start DJing and I put things together, I always have just imagined playing it to a crowd, but the feeling is it's 10 times different to what you can ever imagine when you're sat in your bedroom or you're playing to just yourself. But when you play it to a crowd, I always try to set up a mix beforehand, but it never ever plans out to what I want it to be.
It's the best, isn't it? It's sick.
Yeah.
Just such a buzz, isn't it?
Yeah.
Seeing the crowd like, enjoying it.
Because it's like I say, it's sharing the music that you like. Because when you're a DJ, you're playing that tune because you like it, so you want to share it with everyone in the crowd. And like when you get an aux cable or when you connect to Bluetooth in someone's car and you play a tune, and they're all like, "Yeah, it's a good tune, this, isn't it?" You know, and you think, "Yeah, because I chose it," type of thing. You know.
It's the favourite thing, and that's the reason why I went into it in the first place, because playing music to people, even when I was just playing off my phone on the aux in the car, and people are like, "Oh, what's the song?" And like, there's no better feeling than that, because people are enjoying what you're putting on. So that's the whole reason why I started DJing in the first place, because I'm always reading the crowd, and anytime someone's like buzzing about whatever song I've just played, I always know what they want next. So it's reading the crowd is very important when I'm DJing, but the feeling was nothing like it.
With young crowds flocking to these sorts of events and drugs being used at most of them, I wanted to speak to one of the ravers who goes to these events and see whether drugs are actually a big part of it.
Do I take drugs? I don't. I'd say I dabble in drugs, and I wouldn't say me having a good time on a night out is dependent on drugs. However.
Well, do you purely do you purely on the night out? Like I'm saying, at these sorts of events, could you go there just drinking?
Oh yeah. Of course I could.
Do you?
No. I think one or two of these, your big scale raves, whatever. I think I've done a couple without indulging in illegal substances. And they've been a good night. It's a different experience, coming back to one of your earlier questions, and if I was to be on drugs. However, it doesn't mean I can't have a good night now.
No matter where you go, no matter how many security you have on, no matter what, like, you just never stop in drugs. It's always grown, the problem's getting bigger and bigger. Society is accepting it. You see different countries, in Amsterdam, I think it was, I don't know if it's just a random story, but obviously weed's acceptable there, and generally like, different drugs are accepted, but they're safe, so you can't buy them and they're not being cut. So if I went into a venue and I knew I was taking drugs, I would much rather know what's in the drugs rather than getting it taken off me and going buying it off a randomer who could be whatever shit's in it. So yeah, I definitely think that is a way forward, because it's never gonna. It's an ongoing problem. It's never gonna end.
They definitely help people have a good time.
There's no denying that. Is
No.
There? It's not necessarily. It depends on the person, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, some people will go on and they won't have anything. They'll just drink maybe a few beers or a few vodkas or whatever, and I'd still have the best night, just as good as someone else who's on drugs. And
definitely.
I mean, then there's other people who have the drugs and have a mint night as well because they're on them. Yeah. So there's like a bit of a line between going places to like get ruined or whatever, and going places because you want
depends
to.
What you're into, isn't it? Really.
You want to be, in with the night type of thing.
Charity The Loop were allowed into 6 UK festivals last year. Over the weekend, analysts found plaster of Paris, monosodium glutamate, creatine, lactose, sold as drugs. So it begs a question, should this be rolled out across all of the UK? Should this service be introduced at more clubs and more festivals over the next few years?
Definitely a good idea, that, in my opinion.
Because
it's definitely worth it, because
that gives people the option then to check if the drugs are what they've bought. You know,
because I dread to think what's in some of these things that people are selling at these places.
If they get it for cheaper or something, and they go for that, and it's a bit of a dodgy dodgy thing that they've bought, dodgy product, at least they can check it and then they know what they're dealing with.
Yeah, so, definitely a good idea, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think that does no harm, does it? I think no matter how many security you put there, no matter how many dogs you have out on the front, you know, people are going to be taking drugs in, regardless. I think the approach to just trying to eradicate it is not going to be a successful one, no matter how you approach it. You know, kids these days, they're going to find ways to get drugs in, and if you say you do confiscate the drugs off a lad or someone in the rave, guess what you're going to do? You're going to go out and find a dealer with no mitts and get some more. So I think with that said, the best way to probably go about it is just sort of be a bit more acceptance that it is happening, because it is, and try and take steps towards safety, because that probably is the biggest, you know, issue with drugs, that they're not safe. The combination of, you know, the drugs themselves might not be safe, but obviously if it does turn out to be mixed with a load of all sorts of shit, which you do get, then, you know, I'd like to be aware if my drugs were, you know, caught with a load of other crap.
What would the scene be without the ravers?
There wouldn't be a scene without the ravers. It'd just be me and my music. But yeah, without the people come to the events, there is no events. So anyone who comes, you are a part of what I'm doing, because without the people coming seeing it or enjoying the experience, there is no experience. It's like when I've put parties on before, it can be the best party in the world and you can plan it to be perfection, but if no one turns up, there is no party. So without the ravers, there is no scene for it. So it's vitally important that the people who are coming and enjoying it, they need to know that without them being there, there is no party.
Yeah.
So they're just as big as the DJs what are playing. Without the DJs there's no party, and without the crowd there's no party. So they're just as important in my eyes anyway.
Well, I heard that Utopia did a event recently held in a house. Could you tell us what went down?
It was a bit of a mad party, to be honest. It was something what we put together because obviously my mate lives in a 16-bedroom mansion in Leeds, and we wanted to put a party together just with a private guest list, so mates of mates, and so people could see what Utopia is about in a different kind of setting. We had some class local DJs playing for us. We had 2 different rooms. Party started about 10. We hired our own bouncer. It's fucking useless. It ended up getting out of scale, but it was a legendary party, and every single person who came absolutely loved it and said it was the perfect house party night they could have gone to. So I was really pleased with how it went, and I set it up with one of my best mates who lives there and who's really interested in it as well. So yeah, hopefully we'll have a few more house parties to come.
The earliest forms of DJing was all done on vinyl, so now with the introduction of new technology including CDJs and mobile phones, I wanted to ask whether technology has been a positive or a negative impact on the techno scene.
I think a lot of people say it, and a lot of people jump on the bandwagon with it to try and say mobile phones kill the atmosphere in the club. Obviously when you like looking back at your memories, and there's no better device to do that than on your mobile phone. Personally, I don't think it's a bad thing, but I do agree where people come from when they say it can kill the atmosphere, because if someone's sat in the corner texting all night, I think that's what kills the vibe. But I don't think generally recording something what is so good, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, because you're capturing the moment and you're saving it as a memory, and saving it as a memory what you can look back at is very important to me anyway. So I don't think it's a bad thing, no.
This is such a massive like, divided opinion in it on like
This
social
is
media and stuff.
Big topic in it at the moment.
In my opinion, as a DJ, them phones are so beneficial. Maybe, I know it looks as though people aren't having a good time and stuff like that, but you find a lot of DJs get their exposure through people's videos and getting them put. They might not even know someone's played their tune that night, and then they'll go on Instagram or whatever and they'll see a video of him playing. So in my opinion, they don't have a bad impact on the night.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, and it's also for the people who are, you know, who were there for the night, the fans or whatever you want to call them, the ravers. They get to video that and then look back at it next week, next month, next year, and they get to say, yeah, that was a good night. So I don't think there's that wrong, mate, either.
No, definitely not.
I would say that's a massive bonus, as well as content's a very big thing when you're hosting your own events. You've got to capture the experience, what you're giving to people. So when you're playing a specific tune, if someone's not recorded that and everyone's going wild, you gutted if it's not been captured. So no, I don't think it's a bad thing.
Since I started this magical techno adventure, I've seen the highs and the lows, the come ups and the come downs, but is it all worth it? Personally, I do think so, and I think it's one of the best scenes going. And it's Paralysis and Sammy who are going to be flying the flag for techno in the near future. So what advice do they give to any young people who are looking to get into it?
Start making music as soon as possible.
Get into it, like, from whatever age. It doesn't matter what standard you're making, it doesn't matter how good you are at, actually doing it. But if you're enjoying yourself doing it, just carry on, you'll get better.
And then once you're old enough, just go out to every party possible.
Try and meet as many people. If there's a local event on, and you can get yourself there.
Speak to the promoters and speak to the other DJs and just get your name around.
Yeah, just take interest in it. Just take an interest in what's going on.
I wanted to see what the future holds for Paralysis and Sammy and whether techno is the way forward for them.
Well, hopefully it's a bright future. I've put a lot of effort into making things work with Utopia. The reason why I did that is just because I want to play music to a crowd.
I wouldn't like to say we want to be massive, and stuff like that. I wouldn't like to say that's what we want. We want our music to be big, you know what I mean? That's the main thing. We
just want to be playing more regular, don't we? People knowing who we are.
Playing obviously decent gigs and getting our music out there signed and people enjoying it, and just sharing it with them, innit? Yeah, sharing our sound, having our stamp. Yeah, that's it.
When I first started it, I couldn't ever imagine me playing in massive nightclubs with big DJs, and in the space of a year I've managed to do something what I could never have imagined. So hopefully, but I won't like to say where I will be, but yeah, I want to be in that Ibiza playing with the best DJs there are, playing my own sound and with my own tracks, and have my own following and my own crowd. So that is a dream. That's what it's always been since I've had my passion for music.
Say what you want about Raves, but for how many people there are hating it, there's going to be the same amount enjoying it, as with most things in life. Whilst filming this, I've enjoyed my time with Sammy and Paralysis, and I can't wait for them in the future to be flying the flag for techno. Let's just hope they do well, and I'll be filming another one in a few years' time. Usually there's 3 Ds associated with raves, which are drugs, drinks and deaths. But yet with the techno rave scene at the minute, I see 3 Ds, which are DJing, decks and dreams. It might not be Sammy or Paralysis flying the flag for techno, but I guarantee you now in 50 years, there will still be a flock of young people enjoying themselves at the raves. This is a scene that I think just won't die. And here's to the future.